This is, all right. Little bit different, isn't it? Little bit different. So this is the living room, best we could tell. It's about 1,200 square feet, and it was divided up into 2 small apartments. All right, got the wood stove going. German flag. All right. This is the den. That's a pile of drywall that's been laying there for over a year. I need to do something with. Still unfinished stuff all around. Like this room doesn't have any permanent electricity in it, except for this light. But no receptacles or anything. I got to get on that. All right, now what Irene was seeing when she looked down the hallway. She was standing right here. I guess it is.
Oh my God.
I'm scared.
I know, look at that.
Oh God, bless America.
Oh my God.
It's just nasty.
I'm scared. This is like a... What is that thing where they're in an asylum? That game Blake used to play on the video recorder?
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Oh.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
Scared to death of what was going on down the hallway. This is our bedroom, mine and Irene's, still unfinished, as you can see. That's what all that drywall is for, right there. It's supposed to go on the walls. We still have open ceilings in here, so we lose a lot of heat up in here. But we've got excellent insulation, the best insulation that you can get on the planet right now, as of November the 27th, 2023. Spray foam insulation throughout this whole place. That down there is going to be the master bath. This is the master bedroom. This right here behind the TV will be the big master closet. We do stuff like this because we can. We've got tons of space. All right, we just hang up the blanket to dry out here, you know. But this is guest bedroom. Turn the light on. Little guest bedroom. Another little stove down here. This only gets fired up, I don't know, 20, 30 times a year, you know. Maybe that, and that 30's pushing it. Probably about 20 times a year we fire this up because it's going to be a really cold night and it heats up this back portion. But most of our stuff has carried, most of our burden for heating and cooling is carried by 2 of these. We got one here and one in the living room. Little mini splits. They're little mini heat pumps. All right, this is Blake's room. Ooh, fingers crossed, is it looking okay? Yeah. And there's a shared bathroom here. This is the way it was all set up. This is the way it was all set up for the nursing home. You had 1 or 2 people here, and 1 or 2 people in the other room over there, which is this is the guest bedroom, all right? And you had a shared bathroom between the 2. Okay. So all right, that's clear. And this is our laundry room. Again, with the open ceilings in here. All right. Everything on this side right here now is still open ceilings. And all these doors, Irene and myself built these out of lumber that we made here, right? And you see there's cracks all over the place. Look at this. Look how big that one is. All right. Whenever I put these together, everything was tight, but I knew that it wasn't properly seasoned, and I knew it would shrink. And so I didn't care about the cracks. I still don't care about the cracks. But the point is whenever I was putting it together, I knew that it was going to shrink and we would develop all these cracks. However, I thought they would be cracks like this. But, so I left it in there, you know, everything is loose, right? Everything is loose. I never, for the life of me, would have thought that there'd be a crack that big. Now, I could go back, like I just did right there, right? I could cut a piece to fit this slot right here. But honestly, I don't care. That's our whole place has taught me a different value on life than perfection. And so I had to become okay with imperfection. I was never a perfectionist. However, if people don't know a perfectionist, they would think that I was one. And I have had to change. I definitely have had to change. But all of this, these doors right here, from lumber that we created from our property. This right here is a mixture of sweet gum and hickory. That right there is pretty much all sweet gum, I believe. All of it. The other one is all red oak, right? But anyways, we've learned, both Irene and myself, we've learned to be okay with the farmhouse type of atmosphere, and things don't have to be perfect. It's okay that we're seeing a light come through from the window right there. It's okay, you know, and we like the doors. We found these railing systems was from a barn that we knew had been purchased. This entire farm property close to us had been purchased, and they were going to bulldoze everything and turn it into a subdivision. And so we just went in there and got the 5-finger discount on all of these door slider systems. These are for stalls for horses and stuff. And we just thought, yeah, because you can't just go out and buy a door to fit this frame, because these frames are all 42 inches. So every door in this place would have had to have been custom made. And, well, they were custom made. It's just a different kind of custom. And that is your custom made door right there. And so that's the way we do it. I am particularly proud of the lighting system in the hallway, right? Because from any door, like this right here, I'm at the outside door right here. We got our switch, right? So for you guys that don't know, that is a 4-way lighting switch. To a real electrician that's worked and done this for 30 years, that's not a big deal. But for somebody else, and there's a lot of residential electricians that would retire and never have strung a 4-way lighting switch, because hallways in regular houses are not this big. This hallway in the house portion alone is 55 feet long by 9 feet wide. That's big, right? So let's talk a little bit about the structure itself. This was an old nursing home, and we bought it for the property. It was 23 acres in Atlanta, and but the more we cleaned it up, we took out over 60,000 pounds of trash. This place was used as a dump. And we burnt it, took it to the dump, whatever, you know, you name it. Over 60,000 pounds of trash. And the more we cleaned up this place, the more we thought, shoot, let's just live in that old building. It was built in like 1947-ish. And It was 15,000 square feet. We literally cut it in half with a concrete saw and demolished the first half of it. And then that half that you see in there, we use as our barn. This half right here, we use as our living space. So we got about 3,500 square feet barn and about 3,500 square feet living space. And of course, we have big garage and stuff underneath us as well. So yeah, that's our place. And it's pretty great. Mildewy and nasty. I'm sure there's some collectibles in there. Too much junk. Too much junk. All on my floor. All on my floor. I gotta port that for Muskie Carpenter. It's not like we're looking to live in this structure. It's not like we're looking to live in this structure. I just simply couldn't have done anything.
It's absolutely amazing. We have like a driveway all around the property now, and this is all gone. There were trees everywhere. It was all pines, and they're just gone. So it's great.
Ah, it's wet. Wet.
Woo!
We got our water.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Woo!
We got a well. We got water.
Hold on, let me do it. Now, you just walk it up, and it'll fall in. So, did Irene tell you what she was doing this weekend?
I did.
Okay. Adios.
Ask him. You'll be on YouTube.
Ask me. Look at that beautiful roof.
Who came out with the blowjob? That's what he wants to know.
Your mom?
Yeah, your mom knows. That's what we said.
I'm pulling that up. More professionals. Yes. Okay, so there you have it. It's a little taste of all the stuff that I've done, we have done to this place. I gotta say that, like, Irene is an amazing helper, and I am an amazing dick to work with because I expect everyone around me to know what's going on in my head, and she's learned to deal with me very well, and I've gotten better as well. I have, but yeah, her and I, and every now and then we hired people to come help. My brother Larry Dale helped out quite a bit, but I paid him. It that's a rough relationship that I don't want to talk about. But but yeah, everything was either done by these two hands, or there was a small amount of time. There was about 4 months maybe where I was able to pay to get help for bigger projects and stuff. But almost 100% of all the electrical was done by me. All of the building of any sort that was going on was done by me. The demolition of the entire front portion was done by a team of heavy equipment operator, a group, just got demolished and pushed over the hill and buried. And what else can I say? It's been a long road, and Irene and I don't regret it, but neither one of us would do it again. And if we ever meet anyone and they say, we're thinking about doing something similar, we try and discourage it, because the amount of money that we spent versus the product, we're still living off of a temporary electric supply. So, we still it hasn't been past inspection or anything like that. So, and it may never, and we're okay with that. Where we live and how we live is, I hesitate to even say it, but it's like paradise. I mean, we get to do whatever we want to do, and we're in Atlanta. Now, I don't care so much for Atlanta because it's in Georgia. I'm sorry. I'm from Kentucky, and the people in the South are different than the people in the North. And if you were born and raised in the South, you'd be like, what? That's perfectly fine. It's normal. Well, I wasn't. And so whenever I meet people, it's rare that we actually click. It's weird. It's a different thing. All of my friends that are here that we actually spend time with and do things with, pretty much all of them are from different places all over the country. And Southern people are Southern. And, that Southern hospitality thing is just total bullshit. It's not real. It's a front. Sorry, guys that are from the South. It's just a total front. You meet them, you're a stranger, they're polite as can be, but they keep you at an arm's distance and don't want anything to do with you. And also, if they like you, they're like third grade little boys. And the way of saying that they like you is to tease and make fun of you, which I sadly have learned to do that. I never did that before, but after 25 years, basically, of living in the South, it has taught me to razz and tease and make fun of people and poke fun of them. And I don't like that. I hate that, actually. I'm embarrassed about it. But whenever we meet people and stuff, I tend to do it now. Used to, I never did. But we absolutely love living here. And the crazy thing about society is that, like, at any time, if the powers that be were like, you can't live there, we would have to do something drastic, and we'd have to do something different, because we cannot possibly get it up to speed, up to code fast enough. it's just too much manpower and money. Just the electrical money that we've spent on this place. Now remember, I did all the work myself. I mean, my brother helped me with about that much of it, you know, but I did it all myself. I've got all electrical, industrial conduit, EMT, and the amount of wire and circuits. Oh my God, circuit breakers now. You almost can't put a normal circuit breaker in because this would be considered new construction, and new construction is and it's called, and before you guys say, no, you're renovating. No, trust me, I know more about this than you do. All right, so it's not renovation because it spent 20 plus years off the grid. And so whenever your electric power gets completely shut off like that, it's no longer a renovation, it is new construction. And so with new construction, we need to be up to date with current codes. And with current codes, pretty much anywhere where there could possibly be a potential of a fire hazard, such as the living room on the walls underneath a window, you're supposed to assume that maybe there could be curtains, and therefore electrical fire could catch curtains on fire, right? So any place like that, in bedrooms, around water, you have to have ground fault circuit interrupters and arc fault. Okay, so every breaker is like $50 for a breaker, man, for a breaker. And so the amount of money that we have spent on just electrical products, light bulbs, wire, conduit, breaker boxes, all of that stuff. Plus, again, the thing's so big, we had to do 2 separate breaker boxes. And the way that I'm feeding them, I've got the big splitter panel and everything. So it's a mix of commercial electric in our residential home. And they wouldn't allow us to even do 3-phase. They wouldn't allow it because this is still technically a residence, and they won't run 3-phase power to me. So we're getting into the weeds here, but I've spent at least $20,000, probably more like $30,000 or $35,000 on just electrical product. So, yeah. And the way that we were able to get this to happen is, we rolled the dice. Most people won't roll dice at all whenever it comes to their living facilities and stuff, and that's understandable. But what we did was we took out what is it called? A mortgage on our home in the city. We took out our mortgage on it, purchased this property, right? And then we had some things happen, but long short of it is then we sold the home, and with the profit paid off the mortgage, and we had enough left over to get this place livable, just basic livable. And then from then on, it's been basically paycheck to paycheck, make this modification, make this modification, make this modification, and on and on and on and on. So, it's been a long time now. I think we've been here, living here, maybe as much as 6 years. Maybe as much as 6 years, I think we've lived here. And, it gets a little better every year. It still does. But my buddy Rick, the guy that was laughing really heartily on the roof, right? He came down from Kentucky to roof this place. And it saved me so much money that it was worth it to get him all the way from Kentucky and bring the materials from Kentucky down here to do the roof, because he saved me thousands and thousands of dollars, because they're used to buying things in Kentucky and paying workers in Kentucky. If I was to find somebody locally to do this roof, it would have been $20,000 more than what it is. Maybe more than that. Anyways, but he told me, he's like, you'll never finish this place. And I was like, oh no, you don't know me. I mean, we've been friends since grade school. my oldest buddy, you know, and he's like, "No, you'll never finish it. You'll never finish it ever." And why are you saying that, man? I get shit done, and I do. I gotta say, I gotta take away any humbleness here. I am the kind of man that really hits shit head on and makes life-changing things happen. I do, and I'm proud to be like that. However, this project is so big. He was right. He was right. And he said, he's like, look at me. I'm a contractor, right? And I've got an unfinished bathroom. Our bathroom hasn't been finished for 15 years. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you just get to a point where you're comfortable. And then once you're there, it's difficult to keep going to do all the finishing. And I was like, I see it. You know, it hit me really hard after about 2 to 3 years being out here, and I'm just doing this stuff all the time. And I just got burnt out like you wouldn't believe. And so what prompted this video was the finishing of the hallway ceiling. I mean, it's not finished. There's still trim work that needs to be done. But for the most part, it's finished. That was a big deal because we've had that wood for like 6 months. And it took this long to actually get it done. But putting it up by myself is almost impossible. Okay, now it can be done, yeah. And if I had the steady pace that I had whenever I first started doing this, then I would have done it on my own. Because I can get a piece up there hanging on with some clamps, you know, and then nail it in place and then move on to the next piece, you know. I could have done that, but I didn't. And so over this long Thanksgiving weekend, it was wonderful having Irene's help. And, you know, we got it all up because she's the second set of hands that are needed for a project like this. You know, she didn't do any of the cutting, you know, but she's there to clamp things down whenever I need to. She's there to hold the other end of the tape measure. And that is just monumentally important. So it's difficult doing a project like this all by yourself. But yeah, anyways, this is happy video, and this is our progress so far. And if I can find it, I'll put a picture of our property at the very front, and so that you can see just how great it is. And it's great. We love living here. It's pretty fantastic.